What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone has had a fantastic week so far. My name is Drew Dickinson on behalf of the SDH network. Welcome to the 3D. In case you didn't know, there is no Premier League this weekend due to international duty. I repeat, no Premier League this weekend, so that means no game for, as John would call them, my beloved Manchester United. You know, I, I'm I'm not sure if I'm the minority or what, but I'm just not a fan of all the international breaks. I feel like growing up and even just before like 2015, 2014, it was once or twice a year. But now, look, I get it. All of these extra tournaments being added, Nations League mixed in with Gold Cup, World Cup, you name it, Euros, all the qualifiers for that, you name it. So I understand why it's being done. I'm a fan of my club. Not saying that I don't like international play, but I feel like the allure of the World Cup and the Euros kind of get taken away when there's a different international tournament every month. But that's just me. I digress. At least, at least one of the reasons, being that is because at least one important player for, in my, for me, Manchester United comes back with a knock or some sort of injury. This international go around, this time specifically, United have sent 13 first team players to international duty. Like I said, look, I get it. As a player, there's nothing like having the honor to represent your country. But we're trying to capture a spot in Europe for next season, okay? So let's let's put priorities first, all right? And maybe I'm just a little selfish, but I want Europe for Manchester United, and I think the boys do too. But like I said, I know how much of an honor and how much love you have for representing your country. I've done it before, so I'm not going to throw any shade. It's a real honor. Let's just put it that way. So, like I said, 13 players gone from it for international duty, away from Carrington and away from United this week and most of next. Bayındır, goalkeeper, he is going to be representing Turkey. Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot will be off to represent Portugal. Sofyan Amrabat, he'll be representing Morocco. Victor Lindelof will captain Sweden. Kobe Mainoo, Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford, all off to England duty. And Scotland's leading goal scorer, Scott McTominay, of course, off to represent Scotland. Alejandro Garnacho and Lisandro Martinez, believe it or not, called up to represent Argentina. Rasmus Højlund and Christian Eriksen will represent Denmark. And I'll say it one more time. Okay, I really, really do hope the boys succeed and, of course, play well. But my main concern is staying healthy and coming back to United 100%. Well, we know that this has been a season with not much excitement. Recently, not just because of the 4-3 comeback, amazing victory at home in the FA Cup against your arch rival Liverpool, but things really seem to be turning around. I think we can all agree that the fall of 2023 is a phase for Manchester United that we'd all like to forget about, okay? Whether it's players thinking they're bigger than the club, Jadon Sancho, goalkeeper blunders, or Marcus Rashford partying and calling in sick to training. Oh, and of course, how could I forget the injuries? But that's in the rearview mirror. Let's hit the fast forward button and come to the present, 2024. In this calendar year, only 2 defeats for United in the Premier League. That's 5 wins out of 7, 17 goals scored. And the only thing on the stat sheet that is scary, but it's been that way the entire season, is shots conceded and goals for. But we're winning. The club is winning on the field. And, add in the Liverpool game, I believe it's 6 wins with the FA Cup, and I believe it was the draw to start the year. So things are really starting to turn the corner. And, one player whose performance is really starting to turn around. Really, there's 2. First one is Marcus Rashford, who's starting to really come alive, whether you like him or not. He's starting to really come alive here, come on strong, specifically in the last 4 months. Goals, assists coming. He's starting to run more, and he's starting to involve himself in the offense, starting to take people on, gain a little bit more confidence. As we saw, as I said last week in the 3D, right before Højlund comes back, we saw Bruno, Marcus, and Alejandro Garnacho really starting to click. Garnacho and Rashford for certain. Rashford on the left, Garnacho on the right. But one other player, more importantly, who has really stood out for me from this entire bunch, and that's Andre Onana. And you want to talk about a player really coming into his own. Listen, no secret or debate that his goalkeeping play pretty much single-handedly cost us the Champions League this season. You know, I don't want to. You can easily say yes, it was all his fault, but of course the boys get scored on and they completely collapse. That hasn't changed. We saw it turn a corner a little bit against Liverpool, but anyways, back to Onana. He's shaken all of that Champions League woe off. That Champions League blunder has completely been shaken off. He's now tied for second in the Premier League with 8 clean sheets. That's just one off of David Raya for Arsenal and one off of Ederson for Man City, who just picked up an injury. Unsure if he's going to be healthy or not, so that could help Onana's chances for more clean sheets and possibly win that Golden Glove. That would be something, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh. Well, listen. So Raya and Ederson, they each have 9 clean sheets. And it's very hard to play goalkeeper for Manchester United as far as mentality, especially for someone who was especially coming in after someone who was as loved as much as David De Gea was at Manchester United. And not to mention, De Gea held that spot from 2011 to 2023 with very minimal competition. I think it shows a lot of Andre Onana's character and his will to want to succeed and want to win, and of course, represent the badge of one Manchester United. To take all that media flack, to take the flack from the fans and still show up and perform the way he's been performing is just simply fantastic. Like I said, yes, he's conceded over 200 goals, but listen, let's talk about this for about 5 seconds. He's played without his starting back four, the preferred starting back four, pretty much the entire season, ever since Martinez went down in the Champions League back in October, November. Things have just been different. I think there's like over 20 different back four settings that Ten Hag has had to throw out this year, and it's just hard to get some camaraderie with your teammates when it's someone different that you're having in front of you each and every week. But with full health and more games, I just see Andre Onana getting so much better, even better than he has become now. The next time United are back in action, it will be away against Brentford. It will be on Saturday, March the 30th. The last 2 times these 2 teams played was back in October of 2023. It was a fantastic day for Manchester United. They picked up the win, 2-1. If you don't remember, that was the game where McTominay officially became the McTerminator, coming off the bench and scoring not 1, but 2 extra time goals in Fergie time, if you will. The final being in the 97th minute. Of course, both teams are not the same as things stand currently. 2 completely different teams from October of 2023. Brentford, of course, have Ivan Toney back, and it just makes a huge difference, not just for the squad, but for Thomas Frank, who's a wonderful manager in his own right. So you know that he will have his Brentford squad ready to go at the G-Tech Community Stadium. And as for Manchester United, like I said, 13 different players sent to international duty, hoping they all come back healthy. It could be the first time since arguably that Champions League game that I was talking about that United have had Erik ten Hag's preferred 11 to be fielded. Lisandro Martinez will be back in the fold. As I mentioned a few seconds ago, he'll be back in the fold. He's going to, rumor has it, he's going to be with the Argentina squad. If he's healthy, obviously he'll play, but I don't see him playing that many minutes. He's very important to the team, so his presence alone will be fantastic for that club. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Manchester United are such a better team with him on the pitch. So I expect Lissandro Martinez back. I expect Luke Shaw back. We saw Højlund get some minutes against Liverpool, then go off in the 60th minute, hoping he'll be fit for 90. And here's another tricky situation. Casemiro picked up a knock right before the international break and was cleared by the United doctors. He still didn't train. Things still didn't seem right with him, and he preferred to go see a doctor that he appreciates in Barcelona, in Spain. That doctor ended up finding a small injury to Casemiro's hamstring, so he was held out of the Brazil duty, and I'm unsure what that means for his status for next Saturday when United go to the G-Tech to face Brentford. With all that being said, the United medical staff, they have to answer a lot of questions. First, the Lissandro Martinez metatarsal didn't heal properly. Then Tyrell Malacia with, who knows when he's coming back, if he'll ever play for United again, which is a shame because he showed a lot of promise, especially last season, having to fill in for the constantly injured Luke Shaw. Speaking of Shaw, his injury situation, remember, Shaw and Malacia were supposed to promise to Ten Hag to be back in January, so they let Reguilón go back from his loan spell. And of course, neither of them are back still, and it's almost April. And now, of course, we have the Casemiro issue, but thankfully, Kobbie Mainoo, barring any injuries from the England squad, big shout out to Kobbie getting his first call up at the age of 18. He's shown that he is already a Manchester United player, not even 21 years old yet, not even 19 yet. Let's hope Rashi and Garnacho get some goals, get some minutes for Argentina and England. Any confidence boost for Marcus Rashford, who, Marcus plays very well for England every time he's called up. So any confidence boost for him will be a positive. With all that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I've already yapped enough for your ears today. I really appreciate you all tuning in to this week's 3D. Enjoy all the international soccer this weekend. My name is Drew Dickinson. Thank you so much. Like I said, we will speak to everyone again on Monday, and I'm going to send it back over to you, John.